Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ran Arvi from Committee on MSME and Startup. I would like to welcome our speaker CA Anuj Chandak sir and our coordinator CA Samriddhi Jain ma'am for today's Pathshala series. Ma'am, over to you. Ma'am, you are mute. Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am CA Samriddhi Jain Mittal, and it's my pleasure to be here with you all today.
So actually, na, in 5,000 की कोई
I-
assurance detail
Good
नहीं दे
afternoon,
रहे.
sir.
Very good afternoon.
So, ma'am, he's our
I qualified
answer.
as a chartered accountant in May 2023, and I've been fortunate to gain some diverse experience in my professional journey so far. I had the opportunity to work with Credit Suisse and UBS in their regulatory reporting and wealth management divisions, where I was involved in financial analysis, compliance process, and automation projects. Currently, I'm running my own practice based in Chandigarh, where I focus on automation, consultancy, audits, and advisory services. I've always been interested in how technology is reshaping our profession, which is why I completed the AI certification from ICAI. I believe that staying updated with technological advancements, whether it is AI, automation, or data analytics, it is essential for us as practicing professionals. I'm also keen on contributing to our CA community through knowledge sharing and learning from fellow professionals. My areas of interest include audit in technology driven environments, regulatory compliance, and exploring how we can better equip ourselves with skills like strategic communication and critical thinking. I'm looking forward to today's session and learning alongside all of you. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce CA Gyanchand Mishra, the chairman of Committee on MSME. C. Gyanchand Mishra is a distinguished fellow chartered accountant with over 26 years of professional experience. He holds a master's degree in commerce, is a qualified insolvency professional, and an associate member of ICSI. Currently serving his second consecutive term as Central Council member of ICAI for 25 to 29, CA Mishra holds pivotal leadership positions, including chairman for the Insolvency and Valuation Standards Board, chairman of the Committee of the MSME and Startup, and vice chairman for the Peer Review Board. He also serves as additional director at the Indian Institute of Insolvency Professionals of ICAI. Throughout his illustrious career, he has exhibited exceptional expertise in audit and assurance and has captivated audiences as distinguished speakers on the topic ranging from company law and the insolvency and bankruptcy code to standards on auditing and professional ethics. What truly sets CA Mishra apart in his commitment to social welfare. As the founder of Gyan Ki Baat Foundation, he has spearheaded numerous initiatives that benefit the CA fraternity, disseminate knowledge to the unprivileged, and mentor professionals to build sustainable businesses. His vision for a more inclusive, technologically advanced, and globally recognized accountancy professional continues to inspire us all. Please welcome CA Gyanchand Mishra.
So thank you so much, Samriddhi, for such a wonderful and generous introduction. Very respected speaker, Anuj, and all the respected participants, good afternoon to one and all. Friends, as we understand that MSMEs are playing very pivotal role in the economic growth of the country. And as far as the contribution of the MSME in the startup committee of the institute is concerned, we are trying at our best that the knowledge dissemination, capacity building, and hand holding, the three major factors that we are trying to provide at our end. Recently, on 27th of June, across the country, we have trained 20,000 MSMEs in a single day on MSME Day, International MSME Day. This made a world record that such number of MSMEs were trained in a single day at our branch premises, at regional councils, and of course to the various destinations and various places across the country. One major initiative that the committee is taking, that is MSME clinic. We are launching MSME clinic across the country, and this platform will provide pro bono services to all the MSMEs across the countries. The services will include not only handholding with respect to the compliance and accounting, but also various government schemes, subsidy schemes, and so on. Because so many MSMEs which are unregistered, they are not even aware what type of compliances they have to do. One thing that usually I say that non-compliance is much costlier than the compliance. Hence, in the current scenario, when the government is eyeing all the business to be business compliant and compliant of law of land, we understand that compliance is a major factor that the MSMEs should learn and continue in their various spheres of the business. So, friends, today the learned speaker Sri C.A. Anuj Chandak ji shall be deliberating on central government subsidy schemes with respect and schemes, not only subsidy, all schemes and policies with respect to the food industry. Food industry is very important industry of the country. A lot has been done, and so many yet to be expected to be done by the government very soon. So we need to explore newer opportunities in the food industry as well, because this is the need of each and every human, that food is available to the best of the quality, and of course hygienic, and most importantly healthy. So friends, I'll not take much time. I just welcome each one of you in this today's webinar, and I'm sure that you all will learn with respect to the various schemes, including the subsidy schemes of the food industry. And I see that Samriddhi is doing very good information technology. So, Samriddhi, my good wishes to you. And technology is, of course, friends, very important part to each one's life. So, will not speak much with respect to technology. Technology has become very integral part. So, each one has to understand it. And with the familiarity to the mobile phones, I think each one can take the benefit of the same. So, my good wishes to the committee team that they are organizing such wonderful webinars every week in the interest of the members at large. We'll request all the branches and all the members to kindly gear up for the MSME clinic, which is going to be the hallmark event of the committee in coming time. The last thing that I would like to tell you, recently we had a great collaboration with DFOs of the countries. DFOs are district facilitation officers. They basically provide a linkage in between the MSMEs and the government. So we are fortunate that ICI has been given the mandate to train the MSMEs across the country through the DFOs. So first training program recently we had in Kolkata. Now in chain, so many training programs the institute is organizing, and our contribution towards the MSME training, we will try that the last person of the MSME should get the knowledge of the various aspects which are integral to grow their business. By these words, I once again welcome and compliment to the committee members, all the participants, our speaker Anu Chandak ji, and of course the moderator Samriddhi Jain ji. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm welcome. And indeed, India being an agriculture-rich country, I think today's session, along with motivation from our Prime Minister and ICI handholding with Make in India and spreading more and more knowledge on MSMEs, makes it much, much more important. Let me now take the opportunity to welcome and introduce our speaker for the day, CA Anuj Chandak ji. C. Anuj Chandak is a fellow chartered accountant and holds master degree in commerce along with DSA qualification from ICAI. With 23 years of rich experience since beginning his practice in Feb 2002, he serves as a senior partner at AB Chandak and Associates with offices in Pune and other parts of the country. C. Chandak has carved a unique niche for himself as an expert in central and state government incentives and project finance. He is the co-author of first ever book on package schemes of incentives and other incentives by Maharashtra government, published by WIRC of ICAI, a testament to his deep knowledge in this specialized area. His expertise has been sought after at numerous prestigious forums where he has delivered lectures on incentives for textile industries, food processing industries, and MSME subsidies. He has also provided valuable representations on practical difficulties faced by entrepreneurs directly to the Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Government of India. Beyond his professional achievements, C. Chandak is deeply involved in community service, currently serving as Director of Manavat Urban Corporation Bank Limited and Treasurer of the Sri Maheshwari Mandal. He has also served as President of Lions Club of Aurangabad Royal. Please join me in warmly welcoming C. and Anuj Chandak. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Samruddhi, for my nice profile you read. And we are here to deliberate. I'm here to deliberate for government support, specifically central government support for MSME food processing industries. See, MSME and food processing are somewhat different because MSME covers all industries, including food processing. And food processing is specifically dealt with, food processing ministry is dealing with only food processing industries. So MSME has a special focus. Our current government and we are knowing that we have a separate ministry for MSME industries. So there is a special thrust for MSME industries, government policies, government support, because government knows very well that without MSME development, our economy can't grow. That we are a great target of $5 billion economy, and to achieve MSME should grow with the speed of other large corporates. And there is a specific thrust again our government is giving on food processing industries, because we have a data and we know that our country is an agrarian economy. We are majorly dependent on agriculture, and we have an agriculture economy. And major agriculture produce is being lost without any much facilities available in our country. We have a specific data on that, and around 15 to 20% agriculture produce is being wasted without having much more further processing. So for bridging this gap and for supporting all food processing industries in our country, our government has set up a separate ministry. Initially, these all schemes or all the support to food processing industries were being handled from the agriculture ministry only. But in past, our government has bifurcated agriculture ministry, and a separate ministry named Ministry of Food Processing Industries has been set up to see and to formulate all policies regarding food processing industries and to give support and boost to the food processing industries in our country. So let us see that what support government is giving in the form of capital subsidy, in the form of interest subsidy, to promote and to set up and to give boost to the food processing industries. Like some more promoters, more entrepreneurs should come forward to set up the food processing industries or to strengthen the existing food processing industries with new technology, then to promote quality, to assure quality food products in domestic and as well as in export market. So we will see what schemes are available. I'll share my PPT, 1 minute. you able to see? One minute. नीचे लेके put. Share. Yes, 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Now it's visible.
Yes. So, government subsidies and grants, what does it means? So it is a financial support by government to business enterprise for promotion of industries. So whenever government wants to support a specific industries, they generally launch schemes in the form of capital subsidy or interest subsidy or power subsidy or any employment generation benefits. So these are the separate schemes that is called a subsidy, which is a non-refundable part. What is the basis of subsidy? Basis of subsidy may be on location of unit, constitution of unit, proposed products. That is, there are different schemes on the basis of different products also. Type of subsidy, we have a front-ended subsidy and a back-ended subsidy. That is, what is the front-ended and back-ended? Front-ended means the subsidy is being provided by government during the implementation of the project. And back-ended, that promoters has to implement the project, complete the project, start commercial operation, and then claim the subsidy. They are the nature of subsidy. The nature of subsidies are, I just tell that the nature of subsidy, like capital subsidy, interest subsidy, power subsidy, reimbursement of taxes. These are the different types of subsidies government are offering. So we will see what entrepreneurs should remember at the time of initial stage only, because there are a number of factors that are dependent or that should a promoter should study before he should start implementing his project, because there are number of important factors like constitution, location, investment size, product mix, means of finance, source of finance, application timelines, because different schemes specify the different benefits for a different constitution. Say for FPOs or say for women entrepreneurs, many government schemes provide higher subsidies. Then again, it's a location wise. Government wants some backward locations or which are less developed locations or aspirational districts specified by Niti Aayog. Government wants to give more support to these areas so that overall balanced development should happen in our country. Like investment size, more focus on MSME. So investment size is also matters. Product mix. Like if the specific scheme is for a specific product, then you cannot merge two products in your entity. So that should also study at the time of initial planning only. Means of finance, source of finance. That is from where you are availing your term loan for your new project. That is also an important, because many schemes provide specific banks or specific financial institutions which are eligible under the scheme. And the last but not least is the application timelines, because many schemes specifically provide that you should apply before you start commercial operation of your project. So these are all important factors every entrepreneur should study before he should plan and he should implement its project. So what are the important schemes? Food processing industries by food processing ministry specifically, because as current day my topic is MSME food processing industries. So I'll be stick up to government schemes by Ministry of Food Processing Industries by large. So by Ministry of Food Processing Industries is currently implementing Kisan Sampada Yojana. So that is a important and good scheme. They are implementing 5 to 6 important schemes under PMKSY. Then definitely we'll go for interest subsidy under Agriculture Infrastructure Fund and interest subsidy under AHIDF scheme, which are also related to food processing industries. So first and more important scheme by Food and Agro Processing Policy of Government of India, which is being implemented by Ministry of Food Processing Industries, central government. That is the scheme name is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. So this PMKSY is a comprehensive package which PMKSY is a comprehensive package which will result in creation of modern infrastructure with efficient supply chain management from farm gate to retail outlet. It will not only provide a big boost to the growth of food processing sector in the country, but also help in providing better prices to farmers, and is being step towards doubling of farmers' income, creating huge employment opportunities, especially in the rural areas, reducing wastage of agricultural produce, increasing the processing level, and enhancing the export of the processed foods. So this is the object of PMKSY. Mainly want to focus on food processing chain, right from farm gate to market, and which will definitely help our farmers also in doubling their farm income and creating a huge employment opportunities, as our our economy is a agri-based economy. So this scheme PMKSY, initially it was known as Sampada Yojana. Now it has been changed to PMKSY since 2015. These are the major schemes are being implemented under PMKSY. Integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure, named as cold chain scheme. Creation/expansion of food processing and preservation capacities, also known as unit scheme. Then third one is infrastructure for agro processing clusters. This is a cluster-based scheme. Then food safety and quality insurance infrastructure. This is also termed as food testing laboratory FTL scheme, and human resources and institutions. So we'll see one by one. The first scheme we'll check, which is applicable at to large number of industry in food sector. That is scheme for creation, expansion of food processing and preservation capacities. It is also known as unit scheme. What is the objective of this scheme? This creation of processing and preservation capacities. This is important that it should create a processing and modernization, expansion of existing food processing units, which will help in increasing the level of processing. So both are covered. Modernization is also covered, expansion is also covered, and new unit is also covered. The important factor is it should create a value addition and thereby lead to reduction of wastage and enhancement of farmers' income. This is the objective of the scheme. Eligible entities. So which are the eligible entities? Mostly all type of organization such as central state PSUs, joint ventures, FPOs, NGOs, cooperatives, SHGs, public and private companies, limited liability partnerships, corporate entity, proprietorship, and partnership firms. All can apply under this scheme. Which are the eligible sectors? Most probably all sectors they have covered, specifically major sectors like fruit and vegetable processing, milk processing, meat, poultry, fish, then ready to eat, ready to cook products, breakfast cereals, snacks, bakery, and other food products, including nutritional health products, grain pulses, oilseed milling, processing based on modern technology, modern rice milling, other agri-horti products, including spices, coconut, soya bean, mushroom processing, honey processing, then fruit or honey-based wines, natural food flavors, food additives, food extracts and colors, oleoresins, guar gum, cocoa products, manufacturing jaggery from sugarcane and value-added products from jaggery as raw material, except sugar mills. So here, sugar mills are banned under the schemes. So no sugar mills will be provided any support under the schemes. All other sectors that make food products fit for human consumption. Then animal feed manufacturing unit to be set up in mega food park and agro processing cluster only. That is a restriction setup. That is, you can't set up animal feed manufacturing unit, or you cannot claim benefit under an animal feed manufacturing unit if you set up the unit at your own place outside of mega food park and agro processing clusters. Then carbonated drinks and beverages, they are only when it contains fruit juice and pulp. Again, fruit juice, it should be 5% fruit juice if it is fruit juice extract from lemon and lime, and in case of other, 10% fruit juice should be mixed with carbonated drinks and beverages. So these are all type of sectors they have covered. Specifically, all other segment that makes food products fit for human consumption. That is maximum all food processing units are covered under this. What are the pattern of assistance? Pattern of assistance is a subsidy amount under this scheme. So 35% of the eligible project cost subject to maximum of rupees 5 crores in general areas, and 50% of the eligible project cost subject to maximum of rupees 5 crores in northeastern states, difficult areas including Himalayan states, J&K, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and state notified ITDP areas and islands. They have a specific list of ITDP areas published by Ministry of Food Processing. All that ITDP areas are eligible for higher subsidy, that is 50% subsidy up to maximum of 5 crores. So this is a great support. Then when we say that it is a front-ended subsidy, it is a great support to every food processing industries, every new food processing industry or any expansion of existing unit, because up to 50% of eligible project cost, government is giving subsidy, front-ended subsidy. What is eligible project cost? Eligible project cost includes the cost of plant and machinery and technical civil work, except for ineligible items. So that is specifically land cost is covered under ineligible category, and other ineligible categories are like land development or any labor quarters, compound wall, or any other non-technical plant and machinery such as computers, furniture for fixture, or machinery or any other item for official purpose that is not related directly to production. So all technical plant machinery and technical civil work. The technical civil work includes godowns, include warehouses, includes laboratory area that is related to or supportive to production. And utilities are also covered. So which utilities? Utilities essential for plant, that is water pipeline, DG set, boiler, solid waste treatment plant, ETP, etc. These are also considered as a eligible project cost. There are certain eligibility criteria. These criteria are you should fulfill before applying, that is you should check whether our application fulfills all the eligibility criteria, then only you can apply under the scheme. That the first important eligible criteria is the proposal should have eligible project cost more than 3 crores. Then minimum 20% promoters contribution and minimum 20% term loan should be shown as a means of finance. Here one relaxation given to difficult areas or hilly areas, that is 10% promoters contribution and 10% term loan is allowed. And again, term loan should be from scheduled commercial bank. This is a very specific condition. You can't, you can avail term loan from cooperative bank, but you should present bank appraisal note to the ministry with the application from only scheduled commercial bank. So it is better to go for nationalized banks or private financial institutions. So both are eligible under the schemes, which are considered under scheduled commercial bank category. One important criteria is when you should avail the term loan. That is, term loan, date of term loan sanction should be after the date of advertisement of EOI. So these are all schemes which I am discussing regarding Ministry of Food Processing Industries. These are EOI based. These are not open around 24/7, that is 365 days. These schemes are not open. Ministry specifically publish expression of interest regarding these schemes, and after publishing of expression of interest, you should avail term loan for your project and submit with all other documents to the ministry. So this is a very important criteria, that after publishing the date of UI, date of term loan sanction should be after publishing date of UI. If you avail, or if you your bank gives you sanction before date of UI, then you are not eligible to apply under the scheme. Again, the important criteria is disbursement of term loan and its utilization should be only after ministry's sanction to the project. So this was some typical condition when ministry takes our application and takes more time for appraising our application, and many times it may go more than 6 to 8 months to publish the final list of eligible applicants. So many representations have been sent to ministry that you should relax this condition, and I have also personally taken follow for this specific because of many our entrepreneurs facing hurdles. So ministry are now relaxing this condition and providing a special relaxation that you should start your project and you should commence your project once you apply to the ministry, and after all the investment after the date of EOI shall be considered to calculate the eligible subsidy. So this relaxation, they are already, this condition is already in scheme guidelines, but they are relaxing this condition through FAQs. And again, one important thing that when you apply under the scheme, there are the certain marking system. There are two committees. First is technical committee, which will appraise your application with respect to all documentation, with respect to all eligibility criteria, all supporting documents, and they will give you marks out of 85. So a technical committee has 85 marks with them, and you should avail minimum 60% marks to qualify for grant in technical committee. That is, your project should get minimum 51 marks to qualify for further appraisal. Once your project is qualified by technical committee, then project will go to the project approval committee that is headed by Cabinet Minister of Food Processing Industries, and is all secretary and all 5 members project approval committee. And after project approval committee, they give you chance to present your project, that you have to make presentation before project approval committee for 15 marks. And out of that 15 marks and this 85 marks, the total marks got by your project will be added, and then there will be a seniority list or higher list, and those projects which got good marks and with more marks, they will get first priority and they will get approval letters as per the funds availability with the ministry. So these all eligible criteria you should follow and you should comply to get subsidy approved. The next scheme, that was a unit scheme, was applicable to all food processing industries, and this next scheme is only for a cold chain infrastructure. That is the name specifically suggests integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure. What is the objective of this scheme is to provide integrated cold chain preservation and value addition infrastructure facilities without any break from the farm gate to the consumer in order to reduce post-harvest losses of horticulture and non-horticulture agri-produce. This will enable linking groups of producers to processors and market through a well-equipped supply chain and cold chain, thereby ensuring remunerative prices to farmers and year-round availability of food products to consumers. So specific thrust under this scheme will be the industry which require cold chain environment, right from farm gate to consumer or to market. That is products or finished goods or raw material which require cold chain environment. Mostly that industries will only cover under this cold chain and value addition infrastructure scheme. Which are the eligible sectors? That is milk processing, that is required right from sourcing of milk and up to marketing of milk products. You require specific cold environment, with some products require -0 degree temperature, some products require plus, but to maintain quality of the milk processing or milk byproducts, you need to maintain environment in cold chain environment. So that is milk chilling, bulk milk cooling, automatic bulk milk collection unit, milk processing unit, including packing. Next sector is poultry, meat, marine, fishery processing unit. then integrated pack house, IQF tunnel, tunnel freezer, spiral freezer, blast freezer, plate freezer, ripening chamber, and food irradiation units. See, so currently integrated, the third part, integrated pack house and IQF line, tunnel, spiral freezer. These are specifically made for poultry, meat, and marine units. Because Ministry has launched 2 years back one other scheme that is called Operation Green, and majority fruit vegetable processing lines or majority fruits and vegetables, specified fruit vegetables, they were covered under that Operation Green. And this part of fruit vegetable processing line were bifurcated from this scheme, cold chain scheme. But currently Operation Green has been held up and they have stopped the benefits under Operation Green, and most probably, as per my knowledge, they will again merge Operation Green and like fruit vegetable processing under this scheme, that is cold chain scheme, mostly in next 16th finance cycle. So these are the activities eligible under cold chain scheme. What are the eligible components? That is farm level infrastructure, which may include processing center situated in the catchment of the targeted produce, like bulk milk coolers in case of milk processing units. These coolers are being set up at remote locations in small villages where milk collection activities taken place. So these are the farm level infrastructure. Second is processing center, where you process, where your raw milk is collected and processed for value-added products. That is called a processing center. And third one is distribution hub. These are the all modern multi-product, multi-temperature cold storage that is required to generally set up where near to the marketplace, and for maintaining quality of the food products or milk products. This is called distribution hub. And last is refrigerator vans, insulator vans, or mobile insulator tanks. This should present in your project proposal. So to avail assistance under the scheme, the applicant will have to set up farm level infrastructure and processing center. These are the compulsion. These both are compulsory components. And out of C and D, like from distribution hub or refer vans, any one component should be present in your project proposal to be eligible as your project under the scheme to make eligible. So A and B are compulsory, but C and D, the distribution hub or refrigerator van, are optional. But there should be one out of C and D. What is the pattern of assistance under cold chain scheme? Grant in aid at the rate of 35% for general areas and grant in aid for 50% for difficult areas, FPOs, SHGs, and SC/ST entrepreneurs. For SC/ST entrepreneurs, you need to qualify or you need to hold minimum 51% shareholding to qualify under this SC/ST criteria. So higher subsidy for difficult areas and FPOs, SC/ST under this scheme. The maximum grant under this scheme is 10 crore per project, and grant will be provided in respect of technical civil works and eligible plant machinery. The same under unit scheme. Non-technical civil works and non-technical plant machinery are not entitled for grant, and land is also not as eligible component. Eligible criteria more or less same as of unit scheme. Net worth should be minimum 1.5 times of the grant applied for. In all schemes of Ministry Food Processing Industries, net worth criteria is very important. Net worth should be 1.5 times of the grant applied for. Again, we will discuss at length after all schemes of Ministry Food Processing, because there are at present majority ineligibility ineligibility or non-eligible applications are due to not meeting net worth criteria. So due to net worth criteria, around 40 to 50% applications are being placed under ineligible category. So this is a very important criteria. You should study very well. You should go through the scheme guidelines and what are allowable components, what are not allowable components to calculate net worth of the applicant. You should study very well. Again, promoter's contribution term loan, same. 20% promoters contribution and 20% term loan in case of general areas, and 10% promoters contribution and 10% term loan in case of difficult areas or ITDP areas. Same date of term loan sanction should be after date of EY. That is a similar condition in every scheme. Then final term loan sanction letter along with detailed appraisal note from bank or FI should be submitted with proposal. In before 1 or 2 years back, ministry was allowing in principle term loan sanction letter, but this is a very typical criteria. Now ministry not allowing in principle sanction letter at the time of application. You should have final term loan sanction letter with you. So friends, you should study and you should pre-plan your application process, because whenever ministry launches EY, it gives only 45 days window open for application under the EY. And if you start our preparation for submitting the proposal to ministry for grant for complying all documentation part, 1.5 months is very less if your project has a big size investment. So in my opinion, you should go for in advance. You should start your preparation in advance. That generally ministry launches EY. When you come to know that what are the tentative dates, you should plan 2 to 3 months in advance. That preparation of DPR, finalizing suppliers, finalizing quotations, and after preparation of DPR, you should submit with your banker. And banker generally take 2 to 3 months to give final sanction to your project if project is a bigger size project. So definitely you should plan well in advance. And grant is restricted again to the plant and machinery and technical civil work after date of EY. So here is definitely a good change under the scheme, that after EY they are allowing investment in plant and machinery and technical civil work. And date of commercial operation should not be prior to the date of issue of EY. This is again important condition. And here also you should get minimum 60% marks to qualify for a grant under technical committee. That is, technical committee has certain criteria marking system. 85 marks are allotted for different criteria, like location of your unit. Then if you have a CLU or non-CLU, then what are components from you. Here also MSME are given a special marking. Additional 2 marks are given to MSME units under this scheme. So you go through that marking system, and definitely you should study how you can get more than 60 marks to qualify for grant by technical committee. And once technical committee approved your project, it goes to final project approval committee headed by minister. Third scheme, this is one of the good scheme, the agro processing clusters. That is, government wants a cluster-based improvement, cluster-based development to promote clusters where some particular agro produce is grown in large number in that sector or in that area. Some agro clusters should be set up by promoters. So these are the third scheme is scheme for creation of infrastructure for agro processing clusters. So objectives of this scheme is to create modern infrastructure for food processing closer to production areas. So that will benefit to the farmers also, that will benefit to the industry also. That is, they will get closer to their unit required raw material, required agri products. Then to provide integrated and complete preservation infrastructure facilities from the farm gate to the consumer. That is, cluster will have definitely all preservation facilities such as warehouse, cold storage, all facilities will be there. So all food products or raw material will be preserved and quality will be maintained. To create effective backward and forward linkage by linking groups of producers, farmers to the processors and markets through well-equipped supply chain. So these are objective of this scheme. What is silent features of the scheme? What are the basic eligibility criteria? The important is to being eligible for this under this scheme, you need to set up at least 5 food processing units with a minimum aggregate investment of 25 crore in a particular agro processing cluster. So these units can be set up by the promoters or other entrepreneurs. So there is no restriction. That is the promoter who is set up cluster that it is compulsory that he should set up all other units also. There is no compulsion that promoters can set up cluster and other entrepreneurs can set up that 5 food processing units. This is a flexibility, but it is compulsory that within a given period of time, there should be 5 food processing units with minimum aggregate investment of 25 crores should be set up in that cluster. Second condition, important condition, is that minimum 10 acres land should be arranged by the promoters to set up a cluster at one contiguous land at one area only. So you should have 10 acres of land for that cluster. And preference will be given to setting up of agro clusters in agro-horti clusters identified by central state governments. So these are clusters already identified by Ministry of Commerce, APEDA. They have already identified some agri-horti clusters on the basis of the agro production in that particular area, particular district. So there will be specific preference to that clusters coming up in that particular area identified by APEDA or Ministry of Commerce. Then preference will be given to projects proposing preservation and processing of perishable food products. So there are a number of food industries. However, some industries raw material are perishable, like meat, poultry, milk, fruit, vegetables. These are all perishable food products. So these industries which have raw materials from perishable category will be given to preference under this cluster scheme. So cluster is, in a broad term, you should set up a private industrial park. Private industrial park that will definitely have all facilities required to set up an industry. That is a basic enabling infrastructure. That is a basic infrastructure required for industry is industrial developed industrial plots, right from boundary wall, roads, drainage, water supply, electric supply, ETP plant, parking bay, way bridge, common offices, etc. So these are all basic infrastructure required to set up an industry. That is called a basic infrastructure. You should create that basic infrastructure in that particular cluster area of 10 acres or more. And core infrastructure. The core infrastructure or common infrastructure under this scheme is cleaning, grading facilities, sorting, packaging facilities, food testing laboratory required for generating testing reports of that final product of that those units coming up in the cluster. Then steam generation boilers, dry warehouse, cold storage, pre-cooling chamber, ripening chamber. These are all common facilities which may be used by units coming up in that cluster, or which may be used by other nearby farmers or nearby entrepreneurs in that in the vicinity of that cluster. So both basic enabling infrastructure and core infrastructure has to be set up by the promoter of the cluster. And one important criteria is your basic enabling structure, cost of basic enabling structure should not exceed 40% of the eligible project cost. That is, there are restriction on basic enabling infrastructure, that is road, water and drainage, all basic structure. It should not exceed 40% of the total project cost. That is, in other words, your common infrastructure should be more than 60% of total eligible project cost. What are the pattern of assistance under this scheme is 35% of eligible project cost in general areas and 50% of eligible project cost in difficult areas, and maximum grant per cluster is 10 crore. Here, kindly note that grant to a cluster is 10 crore, but cluster promoter can avail grant of 35 crore, up to 35 crore, because cluster promoter will is eligible to avail the grant to his cluster 10 crore. And if the promoter, the same promoter, has set up all the units in that cluster, then again that same promoter is eligible for front-ended subsidy or grant of 5 crores for each unit coming up in the cluster. So each unit 5 crores, that is for total 5 units, they can avail 25 crores, and for cluster 10 crores. So if you plan properly, and if promoter wants to diversify because in cluster, you need to set up a different food processing units. You can't set up 5 dal meals or 5 rice meals in the cluster, because this cluster or the scheme wants to diversify and to promote different food processing coming up in that region, which are dependent or which are where region's agri produce should benefit all the farmers. So if you plan properly and plan to set up 5 different food processing units under the cluster, so one promoter can avail 10 crores for cluster, and again 5 crores maximum grant under unit scheme. So eligibility criteria more or less same. 1.5 times net worth required, 1.5 times of the grant, your promoters minimum net worth. Then 25% promoters contribution, 20% term loan. Date of term loan should not be before UI, and final term loan sanction with detailed appraisal note from scheduled commercial bank. And you are the same criteria what we have discussed in earlier scheme. As here, there is a time schedule given to complete cluster also, and 5 units coming up in the cluster. So for general areas, you will get 24 months to complete the project from date of approval of the cluster. And in difficult areas, you will get 30 months. That is, if you get approval, say on 1st January 2025, if you got approval for your cluster, so up to 1st January 2027, you should complete your cluster infrastructure, like basic and common infrastructure, and you should install or set up all 5 different 5 food processing units with a minimum investment of 25 crores. So this should be completed within time. Otherwise, minister gives some extension when there are some difficulties. If promoters face some difficulties due to issues out of his control, ministry gives some relaxation, but ministry now have come with specific criteria of penalty. So they have included penalty clauses if the project is not completed within time. So it is better to complete the time and claim the subsidy grant as per the installments. Generally, in every case we have discussed, in unit scheme there are 2 installments, or in cluster and cold chain scheme there are 3 installments, 3 equal installments. So as your project goes on, and if you comply with 50% of your appraised investment, then you can claim 50% subsidy under unit scheme. And in cold chain and in agri cluster scheme, you can claim 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. That is 33% each installment. You can claim subsidy amount. So first installment, second installment, and third installment. As project progresses, and it complies 33% total investment out of total eligible project cost, you can claim first installment, like second or third. The 4th important scheme is scheme for setting up of upgradation and food testing laboratories. So these testing laboratories are nowadays playing important role, as FSSI, that is a licensing authorities for all food processing units, are implementing strictly the quality and all other issues, and they want certifications from accredited laboratories, NBL and all. So at present, government sees that there are very less infrastructure present in our country of food testing laboratories. So government wants to support. In last budget also, government has announced near about 150 crores for a specific 500, more than 1,000 crores for under these food testing laboratory schemes under last budget 2025. So most probably in 15 or 20 days, or more or less in 1 month time, government Ministry Food Processing will definitely launch this food testing laboratory scheme. So this is one of the important scheme, and is when our food processing all infrastructure gaining momentum and all other food processing, number of food processing units are coming up, then there is a good scope for food testing laboratories also. The main objective of this scheme is to strengthen food quality control infrastructure and to make it available to the food processing sector and other stakeholders in order to ensure compliance to domestic and international food safety standards and to reduce turnaround time for analysis of food sample. So when there are number of FTLs will come up in due to this scheme, so that time will be lowered and all samples will be collected and its results will be early available early. So for this is the main objective for this scheme. Food testing facilities so created in the scheme will be accessible to public at large and will be made available to food processing units for testing their products. Which are the eligible entities? All private organizations, entity like joint ventures, public or private companies, LLPs, corporate entity, proprietorship, partnership, government organization intending to set up, upgrade its existing food testing laboratory. So this is as per current guidelines. Government ministry is thinking to change these guidelines, and they will now only stick up to private agencies. Like so, government organization most probably they will not support henceforth as per new guideline and as per news coming up from ministry. Important is grant will in aid will be provided for commercial purposes only and not for academic or research purposes to educational or other organizations. That laboratory should be used for a commercial purpose and not for academic. FTL to be set up upgraded under the scheme shall be commercial entity providing food testing services to food industries and shall not be a captive unit for any organization or food industries. If there is a big industry and that require many samples to be analyzed on daily basis, so they can also set up food testing in-house food testing laboratory, but they will not get grant under this scheme. So it should be a specific commercial entity, separate entity, which is providing food testing services. And food testing activity must be indicated as one of the objectives in the bylaws, memorandum of association, articles of association of the organization. This is very important when you start planning for setup of food testing laboratory, that your bylaws should include this object, specific object. What are the eligible items for grant? Again, equipment and technical civil work. Here, equipment are only specific testing equipment required for testing purposes only. For food products being produced and manufactured in the catchment area of the food testing laboratory. Generally, other products, other out of catchment area are also they are allowing, but specific all equipments required. That is all laboratory equipments. Then technical civil work and furniture fixtures, that is only related to that testing work or that all for essential for installation and operationalization of the equipment. That technical civil work is only eligible. Like the land and building where food testing laboratory is installed, that building is not eligible for subsidy. So only technical civil work, that means some furniture fixture where that equipments are to be set up, or some partitions required for proper segregation of the activity, that partitions are only covered under this technical civil work. So it is mandatory at the time of application to ministry for grant in aid. The basic civil structure and building for food testing laboratory shall be ready. So this is an important criteria. They have specifically added in recently that when you apply for food testing laboratory, your building should be, civil structure should be ready, finished or semi-finished stage. So you have to provide geotag photographs or videos of that building with the application only. So building may be your own or maybe on long-term lease. Eligibility criteria here in principle or final term loan sanction letter, because this is as per current guidelines, but most probably in revised guidelines to be published soon, they will only stick up to final term loan sanction letter as is mandated in other scheme guidelines of ministry. Then bank for this purpose is a scheduled commercial bank. I have already discussed this point. Scheduled commercial banks cover all nationalized banks and private banks. Then date of sanction of term loan should not be earlier than date of UI. This is the same condition. Then term loan at least 20% and difficult areas 10%. Here important point is when calculating promoter's contribution. Value of land in the registered sale deed or lease deed shall not be considered as part of total project cost. So when you calculate promoter's contribution at least 20%, you should first exclude land cost shown in project cost components, and then calculate 20%. And again, you have to add land cost in that calculated amount. That is simply, when you calculate 20% promoter's contribution, land should be deleted. This is a very important point, and this is applicable to all schemes of the ministry. Pattern of assistance, as per present guidelines, 50% in general areas and 70% in difficult as well as SC/ST applicants of the eligible cost of equipment, and again 2% of eligible cost of approved equipment, or 15 lakh, which is lower, towards the technical civil work. So they have put a cap of maximum 15 lakhs under technical civil work. And in case of government organization, 100% cost of the eligible cost of approved equipments like university or state government organizations. But most probably in revised guidelines that might be published in next 15-20 days or 1 month, government is not considering government organizations under this scheme. This is as per current guidelines. So we have discussed the 4 schemes under PM-KSY. Now the second, this scheme is a PM-FME. That is one of the flagship scheme announced by PM Modi at the time of COVID, for supporting small units facing hurdles at the time of COVID. This is a small scheme. This covers MSME small units also, and some small unorganized sectors also. The scheme name is Scheme for Formalization of Micro Food Processing Enterprises. So the objective of the scheme is to assess, to finance and increase in revenues of target enterprises, modernize and enhance competitiveness. Most units are covered from unorganized sector like household activities, generally by our women members or women entrepreneurs, like making papad, achar, and all things. So they need to modernize in their production. They need and enhance competitiveness. So again, for compliance with food safety, food quality norms, because they are generally not aware of that, maintaining quality and standards, strengthening capacities of support system, special focus on women entrepreneurs and aspirational districts, waste to wealth activities, focus on minor forest produce in tribal districts, then unorganized sector to formal sector, and brand building and marketing. So these are the objective of the scheme. So they have launched in COVID time for up to 5 years, but now they have rolled over as they have not achieved their target. So this scheme is being rolled over. 10,000 crore outlay target initially set up by ministry, coverage of 2 lakh enterprises, and there is again state and central share is there. So minimum 25 crore, 1,000 crore investment they are expecting under this program. So which are the individual micro units or unorganized sectors? The grant is limited to only 35% of eligible project cost with a ceiling of 10 lakh rupees. So this is a small scheme. MSME also can avail, or any unorganized or any household unit can also claim the benefit under this scheme. The scheme benefit is easy. They have make the hand-holding support for preparation of DPR, then obtaining bank credit or licenses. They have appointed DRP, that is district resource persons, under this scheme at every district in our country. And any micro units or any small unorganized player, they can approach DRPs. The list of DRPs are being already published on the website under PM-FME section, or they can contact local agriculture department, district agriculture department office. They have all DRPs, list DRPs published there, and once you contact district resource person, he will help you in prepare DPR. He will help you in prepare arranging bank credit also, and all other licenses, and no cost to be bear to the promoter. So it is a fantastic planning and arrangement to support small players. Here, one important condition is beneficiary contribution should be minimum 10% and balanced through loan. So, beauty of the scheme is once you get bank sanction from bank and bank updates or marks sanction in the ministry portal, within less than 15 days or 1 month, you get credit of that subsidy amount of 10 maximum 10 lakhs to your financing bank, and then financing bank maintain it in reserve fund up till you repay your balance loan. So this is a good scheme. It is a support to FPOs, SHGs, and cooperatives. It's again there are different components under the scheme. That is seed capital to SHGs. That is 4 lakh per SHG for loan to members for working capital and small tools. Grant for backward forward linkages, common infrastructure, packaging, marketing, branding. Then skill training and handholding support for DPR technical upgradation and credit link capital subsidy. These are all supports under the scheme. I already discussed that net worth guideline under all ministry schemes except PMFME are very important, because in every scheme like unit scheme, cold chain scheme, agro cluster scheme, or food testing laboratory, they have an important basic eligibility criteria included in every scheme guideline. That is, your net worth should be 1.5 times of the grant applied for in case of general areas, or equal to grant applied for in case of difficult areas. So net worth is very important. You go through the net worth guideline in detail in scheme guideline given. Important points, I will deliberate that. Net worth in case of companies is as per the Companies Act, that is share capital plus reserves are the net worth defined under the Companies Act. This is the net worth. And in case of individual or in case of partner of a partnership firm, net worth is calculated on assets minus liabilities. So assets minus liabilities, all assets are eligible except some non-eligible assets like jewelry, car, or cash, or loans and advances in personal for personal purposes other than business purposes. These are under ineligible item for calculating net worth. And particularly in case of valuation of land and building, the net worth is calculated on latest circle rates declared by the concerned state government, and that should be supported by circle rate notification. You should attach circle rate notification and government valuer certificate to the at the time of application, and with CA certificate calculating net worth. In case of listed company shares, then you have to calculate net worth on market value. In case of investment in unlisted companies, on the basis of latest audited financial statements. So you need to you should be more careful, most cautious at the time of calculation of net worth, because if you miss 0.1% also net worth amount, then directly your application will get ineligible category. So net worth guidelines should be studied in detail, in depth, and should be followed strictly in all the cases. And net worth supporting documents are also to be attached properly. So friends, I have covered ministry schemes. Currently implemented by Food Processing Industries, Ministry of Food Processing Industries, Central Government. So these are the capital subsidy schemes I have covered. Now I will cover some other scheme, like schemes which are applicable to food processing industries, including all other industries also. But you can take benefit of both schemes. Like government has come up in COVID period in the year 2020-21, AIF, Agri Infrastructure Fund, and Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Fund, that is AHIDF, and Agri Infrastructure Fund, that is for farm gate infrastructure. And this is benefit under this scheme is given in terms of interest subsidy, but they have covered mostly farm agro-based industries as well as some food processing industries also. So I have taken up this scheme also, because you can definitely take both schemes at a time. That is capital subsidy from Ministry Food Processing Industries, and you can also take benefit under AIF, that is interest subsidy. Government has budgeted 1 lakh crore for funding under AIF projects, and all primary agriculture cooperative societies, FPO or agri-entrepreneur startups are eligible to take benefit under this scheme, that is Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. This objective is to improve agriculture infrastructure, then long-term debt finance facilities for investment in viable projects and post-harvest management infrastructure, then improved marketing infrastructure for farmers, logistic infrastructure to reduce post-harvest losses. The same object which is being promoted by Food Ministry to reduce post-harvest losses. And with modern packaging and cold storage system, farmers will be able to further decide when to sell the market. So this scheme particularly meant for farmers or agro-based the traders or industries who are dependent on agro-based products, basically to save post-harvest losses and to improve and to make additional infrastructure for marketing. So implementation period is 2020-21 from COVID to 2029-30. And total 10,000 crores are there. And implementation is or reimbursement is in the form of interest reimbursement. So they are 6 months. Sorry, moratorium period is for 6 months up to maximum 2 years. That is when you avail term loan from specified bankers. Then moratorium period. Bankers gives you 6 months to 2 years moratorium period, and then repayment period is started for term loan. So that moratorium period is also covered, and repayment period also is covered. So 2 years moratorium, up to 2 years moratorium period is also covered under this scheme. So maximum period covered is 7 years, including moratorium period, and the interest subvention maximum is 3% per annum, up to a limit of 2 crore. So if you avail for your project, say in food processing sector, some dal mill or oil mill or jaggery processing unit or some other honey based or other eligible sectors, for that, if you take more than 2 crores loan, so up to 2 crores loan will be covered for 3% interest subvention. So that interest subvention will go to your financing banker, and that this subvention will be available for a maximum period of 7 years. And again, one other benefit to this eligible borrowers in the form of credit guarantee cost. So generally bankers give the benefit under CGTMSE scheme, but under this scheme, they have specifically covered all the term loan up to 2 crores under CGTMSE. So promoters will be free to or we will be they can avail easier loans without security up to the term loan of 2 crores under CGTMSE. Though they have included under this AIF scheme only, and the fee of that CGTMSE will be borne by the government. These are the eligible projects: post-harvest management projects like supply chain services, warehouses, silos, pack house, assaying units, sorting grading units, cold chain, logistic facilities, primary processing centers, and ripening chambers. So under primary processing centers, many food processing industries are covered. So food processing industries like cereals and millets, that is wheat, rice, sorghum, barley, maize, oat, all primary processing activities and secondary processing activities are eligible under the schemes. Fruit and vegetable, then oilseed and oil palms, pulses, spices, then cash crops like cotton, sugarcane, jute, tea and coffee, cocoa, coconut, rubber, tobacco, nuts, pistachios, herbal and medicinal and aromatic crops, bamboo, fodder crops, sorghum, etc. Then tuber crops like sweet potatoes. See, all these crops were or all primary processing units or secondary processing units on these eligible crops are eligible to get 2% interest subvention under this scheme. Only if you go for tertiary processing means like from some tur dal, you go again in the next stage. If you make besan or if you make other from maida or other wheat flour, if you make some bakery products. So this is a tertiary processing units. So when your product qualifies under tertiary processing units, then this interest subvention is not allowed. So many food processing industries which carries primary processing or up to secondary processing are eligible under this scheme. And some other categories like organic input production, biostimulant production units, infrastructure for smart and precision agriculture, supply chain infrastructure, or project promoted by central, state, or local government for building community farming assets or post-harvest management projects like cluster projects are also covered under this scheme. All beneficiaries are eligible: PACS, FPOs, SHGs, private entrepreneurs, multipurpose cooperative societies, startups, and agri entrepreneurs. And all participating institutions who are eligible are all scheduled commercial banks, scheduled cooperative banks. Here cooperative banks are eligible. Then regional rural banks, small finance banks, NBFCs, and NCDCs. So these are participating institutions, and they should sign an MOU with Agriculture Ministry. Then only they can participate under this scheme, and their borrowers will get benefit for interest subvention. And just already informed that you can take benefit with the other schemes that are available, or grant or subsidy available under any present or future scheme of central government can be availed under these facilities. So you can convergence for both schemes, and minimum 10% of project cost shall be mandatory as promoter's contribution to be eligible under this scheme. Last and third important is Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund, which is also set up at the time of COVID. That is for 15,000 crore fund has been set up by our animal fisheries or animal husbandry fisheries ministry for development of animal husbandry infrastructure. So for eligible entities covered under the schemes are FPOs, private companies, individual entrepreneurs, section 8 companies, and micro, small, medium enterprises, MSMEs. Which are activities eligible under this primary are dairy processing. So again, a food processing unit, value-added dairy products, meat processing, animal feed manufacturing unit. These are all covered under food processing schemes. So they can all take simultaneous benefit under this AHIDF and other Kisan Sampada Yojana. Then additional sectors covered are breed improvement technology and breed multiplication farms, setting up of veterinary vaccine and drug production facilities, and animal waste to wealth management, that is agri waste management. These all activities are eligible under the scheme. What is the benefit under this scheme is 3% for all eligible entities. That is interest subvention of 3%. So if your bank sanction you term loan for your project at 9%, then you will get reimbursement of 3%. So net effect or net cost to the borrower will be 6% only. So it is a reimbursement year on year, yearly reimbursement. And here there is a no cap of term loan. Like in AIF, there is a cap of term loan of 2 crore. So up to term loan of 2 crore, you will get benefit under AIF. But here there is no cap on term loan. That is, term loan may be 50 crore or 100 crores. You will get 3% interest subvention from ministry under AHIDF scheme. Again, they have capped the lending rate also. That is to ensure all eligible industries to get bank credit at reasonable pricing. So it should not exceed 200 basis point plus EBLR for MSMEs. So specific thrust given to MSMEs for giving easy and low cost credit. Primary contribution, promoters contribution. What is promoters contribution given? Specified, that's 10% for micro and small units, 15% for medium units, and 25% for other units. This is a minimum promoted contribution required to claim benefit under the schemes. MSMED, that is micro, small, medium, they have their definition is given under MSMED Act 2006, and as per latest revised MSMED Act, you have to check under which category your unit falls, and then need to comply the promoter contribution criteria. Again, credit guarantee, here also credit guarantee is provided up to 25% of credit facility to MSME units. If you are availing, suppose 10 crores term loan for your project, then up to 2.5 crores term loan guarantee under this scheme only for MSME units. So thank you all participants for patience hearing, learning, and if you have some questions regarding all these schemes, definitely I can try to handle all your queries, and we'll go for question answer sessions. If you have some questions on all these topics, definitely I'll try to answer.
Yes, sir, we have a few questions. Just let me share with ma'am, Simruddhi ma'am.
Sure, sir.
Ma'am, have you got the questions?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So I'll send you one by one.
Sure. So the first question that we have got from the listeners is that what is the eligibility criteria for an MSME food processing unit to avail benefits under central government schemes, and whether there are any upcoming EOI in MOFPI unit scheme?
Already I have discussed all with details eligibility criteria, because eligibility criteria are same under more or less it is same. That is 20% promoters contribution, 20% term loan, and 1.5 times of the grant. You need to calculate your net worth. That is in case of a cluster scheme, in case of unit scheme, in case of cold chain scheme, and most probably they will also launch FTL in recent future. So it will be same. That is 1.5 times of the grant applied for. Net worth should be there. Then 20% promoters contribution, minimum 20%. Then minimum 20% you should avail term loan from bank. These are the important eligibility criteria. Other criteria are you should attach detailed bank appraisal note, which should be only from scheduled commercial bank, and you should attach final term loan sanction letter with your application. You should attach land documents, either own land, or either if the land is obtained on lease, so minimum 15 years lease should be there. You should attach registered lease deed with your application, and all with this all important eligibility criteria you should apply when EOI is open. And most probably already under the 15th finance cycle, ministry's funds has been exhausted, and from 1st April 2026 there will be 16th finance cycle, and most probably in the month of April or May they will launch new EOIs under all schemes.
Sir, when you talk about eligibility criteria, although there has been some relaxation under the term loan sanction date and disbursement date, can we consider that probably 10% of the term loan has been dispersed, or the loan has been dispersed before the EOI, and the rest of 10% is being done after that? Would that be eligible, or is it something that all the 20%
It has
paid
see date of term loan sanction should be the date after the date of advertisement of EOI. So when you have already got disbursement from bank, then there is you have specifically violated the eligibility criteria. That is, your term loan date sanction date is prior to date of UI. So term loan sanctioned and disbursed prior to date of UI is out of question. These proposals will be placed in ineligible criteria, ineligible section.
Okay, sir. So the next question is objective of the PM formalization of micro food processing enterprises scheme.
Mhm.
What is the objective of the scheme?
So primary objective is to strengthen small household or small unorganized players, like some people are making some small food products or some Mahila Gra Udyog, that they are unorganized. They are currently unorganized because they are not following all any quality checking. Then they are lacking in marketing. They are lacking in branding. Then they are lacking in credit support. So for supporting these small micro units, these are specifically unorganized units, and there are this type of units are in lakhs in our country. So to support these units, government has come up with a scheme of PMFME, and through this PMFME, they are and availing benefit under PMFME is much easier than compared to PMKSY, that is for bigger units, because there is a no net worth criteria, no specific conditions for educational
Loan
qualifications or any marking system. So you can definitely approach DRPs, that is district resource person. He will prepare a DPR for you. Then he will help you to avail the credit, or definitely you can also give application to your banker. And once your credit facilities has been approved under PMFME, subsidy at the rate of 35%, that is maximum up to 10 lakhs, will be directly credited to your financing bank.
So most of the schemes that you just discussed were either for the bigger sections when you talk about the large schemes such as KSY, and then there's a stark difference to the micro schemes like the
PMFME.
PMFE,
Yes.
FME. So there's something which is right there in between to bridge the difference. For example, if you were to start something with an investment of something in lakhs but not in crores, is there a subsidy scheme for that structure?
So up to this all other schemes are more than 3 crore and above, and
Right.
PMFME is up to suppose 30 lakhs or 50 lakhs. In between 50
Mhm,
lakhs or 3 crore, there are many state government schemes are there. Like in Maharashtra state, up to
mhm.
50 lakhs support for small food processing units at the rate of 30%. That is, if your unit cost is up to 1 crore, 2 crore, then Maharashtra government is giving 30%, maximum 50 lakhs. So for this type of units, this size of units, definitely you can approach to state governments. More or less,
Okay.
every state government has is giving support in the form of back-ended subsidy. There is no front-ended.
Mhm.
These food processing schemes are front-ended, but the state governments are giving back-ended up to 2 crore. So that bracket has been covered by state governments.
Okay, and most of the state government schemes, as you mentioned, are back-ended instead of
Back-ended support, that you have to first install or
start
set
the
your unit,
commercial
and
operation.
then claim the subsidy.
Okay, sir. So the next question that we have is, what is the maximum subsidy amount available for common infrastructure projects under PMFE?
Which projects?
Common infrastructure projects under the PMFME scheme.
PMFME.
Maximum.
PMFME common infrastructure is maximum support is up to 3 crores. And these
And
are generally given to FPOs or SHGs or
okay,
FPOs. There's a group of farmers or group of entrepreneurs for common infrastructure.
Okay. Which central incentive helps MSME food units reduce losses through modern cold chain infrastructure?
That is covered by under a cold chain scheme. Because for cold chain infrastructure, that is for units which require cold chain environment, right from sourcing of their raw material and up to marketing or up to market their product. That is all facilities to be under cold environment, and under cold chain scheme, that all components, that is right from some collection centers and up to refer vans which help to market these products. These all components are covered under cold chain scheme. So under cold chain scheme, they will get benefit.
Under the PMKSY, creation or expansion of food processing and preservation capacities, what is the maximum grant available?
5 crores is the maximum grant.
And what is the maximum grant percentage for establishing a primary processing center in rural areas?
Primary processing centers are actually not covered under CEF, PPC or unit scheme, because their primary object is value addition.
Right.
So there should be value addition. Only sorting, grading, and all primary processing units, they are not covered under unit scheme. But if there is a secondary processing, like after sorting and grading of pulses, if you make some dal meals and flour meals, so if you go for that secondary processing units, you can claim benefit under unit scheme. But primary processing units, capital subsidy is available under NABARD. They can take benefit up to 25 lakhs under AMI scheme, Agriculture Marketing Infrastructure. But that scheme is currently stopped due to non-availability of funds. But most probably from next financial year, that is from 1st April 2026, they will again relaunch that AMI scheme. AMI, that is Agri Marketing Infrastructure Scheme, and the nodal agency is NABARD. So these primary processing units definitely claim some benefit under that capital subsidy benefit under that scheme with interest subvention under AIF.
So you talked about marketing under the scheme by NABARD. So is there any scheme under the central government as well which is helping the farmers or any food processing unit to market and brand their product as well, or is it mostly related to the production?
Marketing branding under PMFME, they have covered the component for marketing and branding. And for marketing branding, one big scheme is there, but still see that is for very big players. That is a PLI scheme. There is a project production linked incentives, and who are setting up units for in the size of 500 crores and 1,000 crores. And again, for small units for marketing branding, they are giving support under PMFME. But the support is not much in large amount, but definitely the marketing and branding support is available, and a component is available under PMFME.
Okay. The next question that I have is, under which scheme can MSME food units claim support for machinery and technological upgradation?
Yeah, definitely. Technology upgradation, that is expansion. Expansion is already covered.
Yeah, right. So the PMKSY.
You should qualify the other criteria, like investment size should be minimum 3 crores and all other criteria.
Which central scheme supports participation in international food exhibitions and trade fairs? I think this is more related to exports, and what schemes cover the export and international visibility of the brand.
Trade fairs.
Yes. International food exhibitions and trade fairs.
International trade fairs, definitely. I think APEDA has that separate schemes. for export promotion. So you should study that APEDA schemes by APEDA. That is, APEDA has a different department under Ministry of Commerce.
Okay. What export incentives are available for MSME food units under the remission of duties and taxes on export products?
This scheme is not dealt in under PM KSY, and there is a scheme for remission, but I don't have much knowledge about that scheme, so I can't share exactly. But definitely under Ministry of Commerce, from DGFT, they have some scheme of remission.
Okay. So that particular scheme enables the MSME to export and have an international visibility of their products.
Yes, from under PM KSY, there is a no separate export benefits. Under PLIs, that is.
What is the role of agri clinics and agri business centers ACABC scheme for food sector entrepreneurs?
Which can you repeat?
Agri clinics and agri business centers.
Agri clinics and agri business centers.
Yes, sir.
Agri clinics and agri business centers, they are not covered under this PM KSY. Most probably for agri clinics, agri business centers, Ministry of Agriculture, mostly Ministry of Agriculture or APEDA. These two institutions cover or support for agri clinics or agri business. Ministry food processing don't support it.
What type of training support is provided to FPOs and SHGs for food processing under PM-FME?
Training support, you have to claim some because the FPOs and SHGs, they can arrange seminars, they can arrange some experts and other any for regarding food processing or regarding marketing or any component. For that they can claim or they can organize seminars or workshops and claim bill for that scheme.
Lastly, sir, can MSME food industries access incubation support under the Ministry of MSME?
No, incubation support is not available from Ministry Food Processing. Incubation support, I think, Ministry of Commerce or Ministry, I think they startups, they have different ministries for incubation and all. So for food processing industries, no support for incubation support from Ministry Food Processing.
But there are certain sectors that the Ministry of MSME has specified for which they can go for the incubation centers, which they've defined, right?
MSME, Ministry MSME is definitely support for international fairs. Then Ministry of MSME may support to incubation centers. Ministry MSME, there are certain good schemes for incubation, then for export trade fairs, all. So Ministry MSME schemes need to be studied for that.
Okay. In that case, I think we're good to close the session. It was amazing getting to know so much about, the detailed analysis of all the schemes that you explained very efficiently and very clearly with your presentation. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And thank you so much for taking up this session and explaining everything in so much detail and clarity.
I also want to thank you, CA Gyanchandra Mishra ji, Chairman, MSME Committee, CA Arpit Kabra ji, Vice Chairman, and all committee members and all participants to give opportunity to share my knowledge. I have given my contact details, and definitely if you have regarding PMKSY or PMFME or AIF, AHIDF regarding food processing units, capital subsidy, yeah, definitely you can send me queries on mail. I'll definitely reply to your mails. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for wonderful session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coordinate the session. Thank you, tech
Thank
support team.